Hi, it's Linda with No Frills ASMR. I'm back with more of the flashcards for United States Citizenship exam. But before I start looking at them, I just wanted to post an update about the test itself. They have changed the test in 2025, I think, for this year. And I had a commenter who's been extremely helpful. Laura, thank you. She says there are more questions in the bank now, 128 rather than 100 on the previous test. And we have to get 12 out of 20 instead of 6 out of 10. And then she says there is one section of the test where the officer shows the applicant a question on a tablet and we have to write the answer down. Oh gosh, I wonder which one. And then it says, edited dad. I had asked about the asterisks on some of these. The asterisks, I'm having trouble saying that word, are after some of the questions means that these ones are for the limited question set that people need to study if they've been in the U.S. on a green card or for a really long time, like 25 years or something, and they're senior citizens. They have an easier test and just have to show an extremely rudimentary understanding of civics. So the asterisk ones are probably a little bit easier, she's saying. All right, so instead of the bad information I gave you, we now know that there are 128 questions. And you have to get, they'll give you 20, and you have to get at least 12 out of 20 random. So you need to know them all, but they're 20. So that's what. Okay. So that was good information. Oh, and I went online and I tried to find the questions that I was missing. And it was harder than you'd think to figure those out, but I think I found a website that has the questions and then they have the answers covered, which is cool. So I thought we'd do them together once we finish these. So I have that also. And I hope those are correct. Who knows? It's just, I don't even know what the website is. It was just something I found that has ads popping up. I'm like, okay, great. Good enough. All right. Where did we leave off? So just if you haven't watched, I've already made 2 videos looking at these. And these are, oops, put that in there. Flashcards for the United States Citizenship exam. This one card sticks in here. And when I pulled it out, I can't figure out what that card is. We'll look at it eventually. But so if you're curious to take them, I've already done 2 videos with it. And I'm not sure where we last ended up. Let's see. I put a sticker in here. I feel like we were pretty far through, don't you? I could have put something easier to find. Where were we? Where are you, sticker? I have that space sticker in here. You're kidding me. I got it. Okay. So our last question was, what are 2 rights of every human living in the United States? Whoops, I had 2 cards. 2 rights of every human. No, sorry. What are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? Freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government, freedom of religion, the right to bear arms. And then we did, what do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America? All right. So here we are. Question 53. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? So what I've been doing is giving like a moment where you can answer. Or if you're really doing this, you can always pause it and write down your answer because that might really let you know if you know it. What is one promise you make when you become a United States citizen? And then I give what my guess is, sort of educated guess because I've done a lot of these kind of videos. And then we'll look at what the answer is. Well, I would think one thing is to uphold the Constitution. That would be one promise, but I assume because they're saying one, there must be more than one. Well, when you become a United States citizen, I was going to say to, I don't know how to word it, to like forego your other citizenship, but you can be dual citizenship, right? So I guess that's not, definitely to uphold the Constitution. Oh, to promise, probably promise. I was going to say to vote, but maybe that wouldn't be a promise. Gosh, I'm not sure. Okay. Wow, there are a lot of them. Okay. To give up loyalty to other countries. Yeah. What if you're a dual citizenship? I don't know. Anyway, defend the Constitution and laws of the United States. To obey the laws of the United States. To serve in the U.S. military if needed. Okay, yeah, I should have gotten that. Serve, do important work for the nation if needed. And be loyal to the United States. Okay. So there's your answer. Give up loyalty to other countries, defend the Constitution, obey the laws, serve the U.S. military, serve the nation if needed, and be loyal to the United States. Okay. How old do citizens have to be to vote for president? So that one has an asterisk. So that would be like sort of the easier question. And the answer is 18. 18 years old. Now, originally, I think it was 21. But I think mostly because of the military being 18, they felt that they should all be able to vote. So they changed it to 18, and it's one of the amendments, I think. I think that because we saw that the other day too, right? Yeah. All right. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy. I feel like I have 2 cards. Nope. Well, by voting, by protesting to let the government know your feelings, by running for office. I think those might be 3. I would say voting and running for office are the safest. 2 ways Americans can participate in their democracy. Yeah, those are pretty good, I think. Oh, hey, there are a whole bunch of them, guys. So if you have more ideas, it looks like there may have been 6 answers. What am I forgetting? Democracy. Well, we'll find out. Okay, vote. Oh, join a political party. Okay. Help with a campaign. I was going to say that. That was kind of what I meant by like demonstrating. I was sort of thinking like all that. Help with a campaign, join a civic group. Yeah. Join a community group. Give an elected official your opinion on an issue. Call senators and representatives. Publicly support or oppose an issue or policy. Run for office. Write to a newspaper. How outdated is that? Like, how many newspapers are there even left? But okay, we get it. Write to a newspaper. This is an interesting card because I don't want to get political here, but I did a video recently on what is Antifa, and it's basically different groups, and it's kind of the same thing as, that's on the left, and then on the right there are all these different groups. And so that's where I feel like you have to be a little careful about saying you can't be in a group because it is one of our ways that Americans can participate in democracy. So vote, join a political party, help with a campaign, join a civic group, join a community group, give an elected official your opinion on an issue, call senators and representatives, publicly support or oppose an issue or policy, run for office, write to a newspaper. Okay. When is the last day you can send in your federal income tax forms? You know I'm bad at dates. I always have my anniversary off by like one day. I know it's one of 2 days, and that's how I feel about this. This is April 14th or 15th. I don't know why my brain is weird with dates. This has an asterisk, so it's for old people like me. I think it's the 15th. April 15th. Yep. Okay. Oh, I've been putting these down wrong. Hold on. Go this way. I don't know why it matters, but it does. Okay. When must all men register for selective service? When must all men register for selective service? What selective service is? Maybe they'll have that question here. Is the draft for the military in case they need to, have a draft and draft people. You are to register, I believe it's when you turn 18. I mean, I know for my boys, we went like right away. You were supposed to go because if you're a male citizen and you aren't registered, then it's harder, or you can't, I can't remember, get, I think this is right. Now, this is, put an asterisk by this because I could be wrong, but I think you can't get financial aid from the government if you haven't registered. Is that right? I think that's right. For like college. All right, at age 18, and then it says between 18 and 26. See, I thought it was at 18. Between 18. Oh, I guess if you become a citizen, though, when you're, say, 22, then you'd have to register all the way up until you're 26. Okay, that makes sense. All right, what is one reason colonists came to America? One reason colonists came to America. Well, for religious freedom. That's one. That's the main one, right? For political freedom, I guess. That's two. I mean, they were some of them were being pretty harassed in their home countries, and they kind of didn't have a choice. I would say those two are the main ones. I think religious freedom, political freedom. Okay, it says freedom, political liberty, religious freedom, economic opportunity. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. To practice their religion, to escape persecution. Yeah. Okay. Well, I got the one anyway. To escape persecution. Okay. Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? Who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? Well, the Native American or indigenous people. American Indians, Native Americans. Also, I would think up in Alaska. I guess they're still considered Native American. I was going to say like Inuit. Is that right though? Am I using the right word? I'm a little behind sometimes. Okay. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? That would be people from Africa. Africans, people from Africa. And here's a picture of slaves on a southern plantation in May of 1862. Why did the colonists fight the British? Why did the colonists fight the British? Why did the colonists fight the British? Well, for taxation without representation, that's one thing. They were being taxed by the King of England, but not given any kind of representation. Probably for just freedom from the king. The British also were, the soldiers would come and just say, we're living in this house and take your house. And I started to do a video on that, but I haven't finished it. Just so you guys know, a lot of these videos where I tell you a lot of information, I study hard for those. It's a lot of work. So sometimes they get started and then I go, I don't know, or I get sidetracked. And then it's hard to go back. Once you've started learning something, sometimes it's hard to go back to it. But I forget what that's called. It was like, there's a name for it. I can't think. Like they'd live in your quarters. I forget. All right. Because of high taxes, taxation without representation, because the British Army stayed in their houses, boarding and quartering. Yeah. Because they didn't have self-government. Yeah. This is a picture of Molly Pitcher firing a cannon at the Battle of Monmouth, I think that's what it said, in 1778 during the American Revolutionary War. Painting by Percy Moran. I think it says Moran, probably. So there we go. So because of high taxes, taxation without representation, because the British Army stayed in their houses, boarding and quartering, because they didn't have self-government. All right. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Didn't we already have this question? I swear this was like one of the very first questions. Am I crazy? Who? Nope. Oh my gosh. I swear we had this question. Maybe I just saw it when we were putting these away or something. Anyway, who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Who wrote? It's like, well, the founding fathers, but they all signed it. But I think, now I'm getting a little confused in my head, but I think Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration. Yeah. I swear we had this card. I must have seen this when we were putting them away or something. Because I feel like I even remember the picture. I'm crazy. I don't know. Okay. Thomas Jefferson. When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? When was the Declaration of Independence adopted? Are they looking for just the year? Well, July 4th, 1776. I believe. July 4th, 1776. In the 1976 year, where I lived around Detroit, in Clawson and Troy, Michigan, they had a huge parade and celebration of the bicentennial, and I marched in the parade. It was all very exciting. It's a very specific memory, a time. That whole summer was just all bicentennial stuff, and it was exciting. It was an exciting time. I think a lot of people felt extra pride, and at the parade they had all the war veterans, and there were people from World War I, World War II, Vietnam, Korea, all these people were there. It was all very exciting. I think people felt very patriotic at that time. Or maybe that was just me, because I would have only been 6 years old, and it's such a crystal clear memory. It's funny. Anyway, okay. So there's that. There were 13 original states. Name 3. All right, if you're really curious, I did a video called The 13 Original Colonies on a map, and I traced them on a map. And I think I did a soft-spoken and a whisper version of this. Okay, the 13 original. Actually, I should grab my map. Hold on one second. I think I said it right here. Hold on. Sorry. While you're thinking. Think. I gotta put my blankie back on because it's cold in here. This map's a little hard to see, but we have Delaware was one, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware. Wait a minute, what did I say? New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Rhode Island, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Virginia, North Carolina, Georgia. What did I not say? Not Maine. Oh, Vermont, New Hampshire. Did I say Rhode Island? I think I did. Did I say Connecticut? I think I did. Delaware, Maryland. West Virginia was not. Ohio was not. Maine was not. What am I missing? I don't think South Carolina was around yet. Okay, hold on. Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. Okay, I think that's all of them. I think we got it. Okay, the original 13. New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I don't know why I was thinking South Carolina was like still part of that was dumb. Okay, so how did I just did my math wrong. All right. There's a little picture if you want to take a screenshot so you can practice. All right, what happened at the Constitutional Convention? What happened at the Constitutional Convention? Well, it sounds to me, based on Constitutional Convention, I think the founding fathers met up and discussed it and then signed it. I believe it was the signing of the Constitution. The Constitution was written. The founding fathers wrote the Constitution. Okay, wrong. I was wrong. They didn't sign it. Part of me wants to look that up in our book, but all right. So the Constitutional Convention, the Constitution was written. The founding fathers wrote the Constitution. So they didn't sign it there, I guess. That is when they wrote it. Well, I guess they signed it on this day. No, that was Declaration of Independence. Wait. Oh, here we go. Uh-oh. We're going to need the year, guys. We're going to need the year. Because look, when was it written? All right, so when was the Constitutional Convention, which is where it was written? Well, it was after we declared independence. It took us a while. I feel like it was quite a few years after 1776. Because it took some time after the independence that we realized we need some laws and rules and we got to figure this out. When was the Constitution written? Shoot. I'm going to say in the 1780s. 1782. 1787. Okay. At Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where the Constitution was signed in 1787. Well, that's when it was written. Was it written and signed like all in one fell swoop? I guess so. All right. Oops. All right, I feel like we should practice those again. The Constitutional Convention is where the Constitution was written, and it was written in 1787. Boom. Okay. Oh boy. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Now, I know in college I took a course where we had to read all these essays. And, you know, you'd read, like, I want to say Thomas Paine and Benjamin Franklin. And I'm feeling like that's who this is. But I'm not sure. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Name one of the writers. Okay, well, I think Benjamin Franklin at least. Maybe Thomas Paine. I don't know who else. Nathaniel somebody, maybe. I don't know. James Madison. Well, now he was a president. After that, Alexander Hamilton. Oh, for Alexander Hamilton. John Jay, and Publius. I've never even heard of him. Publius. Oh boy, do I feel dumb about that one. I didn't know any of that. Title page of the Federalist Paper, Volume 1, 1799. I will tell you that in that class I told you about, we did read some of this stuff, but I may have kind of not really done it. I was like, boring. Okay. I feel like I gotta make a note on this because. So the Federalist Paper, we may have to do a video because I don't know about this very much. Federalist Papers. And our writers are Madison. I know his wife Dolly because there used to be commercials before Charlie Brown shows came on TV for Dolly Madison. John Jay. Never heard. And Publius. I don't even know who that is. I feel really, this question's making me feel like doing, but if I do a video on it, then I'll know it, right? So that's what I gotta do. All right, there's your answers, guys. Tell me if you didn't know that so I feel better. Okay. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? Well, not writing the Federalist Paper. Well, he held the lightning rod up to the sky like a fishing pole with rubber on it to capture electricity or whatever. He had a bunch of skeletons in his basement that they found later on because he was doing sort of scientific stuff. I guess. I don't think those are going to be our answers. What is one thing he's famous for? Well, he signed the Declaration of Independence. Is that right? Oh my God. He's one of the founding fathers, right? All right. He was a U.S. diplomat, right? That's right. He went to France, right? He was a diplomat. He was the oldest member of the Constitutional Convention. So he helped write the Constitution, and he was the oldest member. First Postmaster General of the United States. Wow. Okay. He was the writer of Poor Richard's Almanac. You know what? A long time ago, I think I thought about doing a video on that. Poor Richard's. Oh my gosh. Almanac. Started the first free libraries. Oh, I didn't get any of these. These are hard. Started the first free libraries. Yeah, but what about the fact that I got other things? Do I get any credit? What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? He did so much stuff. Like, talk about a guy who just sat around, like, thinking all the time. There's your answers. That's a tough one, guys. U.S. diplomat, oldest member of the Constitutional Convention, first Postmaster General of the U.S., writer of Poor Richard's Almanac, and started the first free libraries. Wow. That's a hard one. Okay, who is the father of our country? The father of our country. Who was the first president? And this one has an asterisk, so it's meant to be a little easier. And that is also George Washington. Here he is crossing the Delaware. Okay, what territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? What territory did the U.S. buy from France in 1803? That was the Louisiana Purchase. And it's actually, this is another one I kind of started and didn't get anywhere on. It's actually like not just Louisiana, but that was the territory, and it's a big swath of land. The Louisiana Territory, or Louisiana. Right. Okay, here. Hold on. Get my map back real quick. So you can see from this image, it is like land from, it looks like in this picture, like from the panhandle. I don't know if you call it, that's what you call it, but the panhandle of Florida, kind of all the way up. Or maybe it's over here. I'm not sure. Anyway, but it goes like all the way up into Wisconsin, up here, North Dakota area. Like, it's all this. It's a big swath of land. So that was a good deal for the U.S. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1800s. One war fought by the U.S. in the 1800s. Well, if we include U.S. against U.S., we have the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, 1800s. Well, the 1700s is the Revolutionary War, so that's not it. But we had the Spanish-American, the Alamo, the I don't know what that's called. I know I'm, oh, good grief, what am I missing? Civil War. I'm missing something major here, I just can't think. All right, let's see. The War of 1812. That used to always be a joke. When was the War of 1812? And it was like, people thought it was a trick question. The Mexican-American War, or maybe it is a trick, maybe I'm forgetting. Mexican-American War, is that the Alamo? Maybe so. Civil War, and then the Spanish-American War. Okay. 1812, Mexican-American War, Civil War, Spanish-American War. All right, well, I got one anyway. Name the U.S. war between the North and the South. The U.S. war between the North and the South. The Civil War. The war between the states. Yes, okay. Name one problem that led to the Civil War. Well, in the North, they'd call it slavery. In the South, they call it states' rights. That's what I've found. But basically, the states' rights to have slaves was one problem that led to the Civil War. Slavery, economic reasons, states' rights. Yeah. What was one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? Well, he was president during the Civil War, and he signed the... Oh, sorry, I didn't give you guys time to think about it. Sorry. I got too excited because I know the answer. He signed the Emancipation Proclamation that freed the slaves, and he was shot at Lincoln Theater while watching the play. Oh, I know this and I can't remember. I know the play. It's out of my head all of a sudden. Oh well, he freed the slaves, the Emancipation Proclamation. He saved or preserved the Union. Okay. He led the United States during the Civil War. There you go. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? I kind of just said that, I think. it freed the slaves. I don't know how else to say that. It freed the slaves, freed slaves in the Confederacy, freed slaves in the Confederate States, freed slaves in most southern states. Okay. What did Susan B. Anthony do? What did Susan B. Anthony do? Well, she was on a dollar. Susan B. Anthony fought for women's right to vote, or maybe just women's rights. I think both. She was like a I'm blanking the word, but like a women's rights activist. Fought for women's rights. Oh, fought for civil rights too. Okay. So she was just fighting for the rights of people. Fought for women's rights, fought for civil rights. I think she would be what they would now call Antifa. All right. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. One war. Oh, I didn't realize how long. I might have to take a break and go eat something. Then I think I'll come right back and finish it. Name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. Well, I was alive during the 1900s, and I can think of one for sure. I had a friend who was in a war in the 1900s, if that's a hint. All right, so let's start at the beginning. We have World War I. We have World War II. We have the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and then the Gulf War. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So I have 5 that I can think of. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. World War I, World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War, Persian Gulf War. Yeah, I did pretty good. Patting myself on the back. I think I'll go out on that note. So we're on number 79 plus. I have the extra ones on the iPad that we'll have to look at next time. How are you guys doing on these? Are you feeling good about it, or is it hard? I know that if I hadn't made all the videos I've made, I would not know these answers. That's the only reason I know them. I tell you, it turns out studying as an adult is good for your brain, I think. What I should do is have one of my sons on as a special guest and ask him all these and see how he does, like a 20-something-year-old who's been through college. I bet not very good. That's mean, but they're hard. They are hard.